Good. Surprise the audience. Please do. Can you hear me now? You guys can't hear me. Yeah, I was worried about that. Can you guys hear us now? Can you hear me now? Love live shows.
I feel like this just happened to me last week.
Maybe it did during the phone-a-thon?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Can't hear you. There we go. We're good. They can hear us now.
Nice. Awesome.
All right. We're back.
Well, you guys missed all of the incredible witty banter that we had going back and forth about Outbound in 2023, about the fact that we are here in my garage.
And it's Hop on Calls.
Hop on Calls.
Where's my marker?
Shout
I got
out.
a marker.
Yeah, you can grab a marker.
I go with red.
There we go. Shout out to our sponsor, Kixie, your all-in-one business telephony solution. We're going to be using Kixie Power Call today to make a ton of outbound calls in a short period of time. They also do business texting. They also do business workflows through HubSpot, Salesforce. If you have a CRM and you're not using Kixie, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't even know.
I don't know. But cool. Sounds like everyone can hear us now. That's good. We are kind of cold because in San Diego, it's normally what, like 80 degrees, 75 degrees.
Yeah, and it's like 60 rainy and we're in your garage. So
That's right. That's right.
Pretty nice garage, though.
Yeah, thanks, man. I put some time and effort into it. This was a wall that I actually had drywalled during COVID. It used to be like a wide open, just normal garage with slats, and you can see the beams and stuff. So
Nice.
I've been jamming in here for a while. But the garage door is closed, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Usually we let in the sunshine. Most of the time I let in the sunshine and the breeze.
San Diego sun is hiding.
It is today. But it's a good thing. San Diego never rains, so it's good that we get some rain. All right. So, Ronen, tell the audience a little bit about you. I'm sure most people tuning in know who you are, but who's Ronen? What do you do? Where do you work?
Well, thank you so much for having me on. My name is Ronen Pessar. I'm the Chief Growth Officer at Stylo. We are a software company for Zendesk users, so I'm going to be selling to support leaders and cold calling support leaders and managers, directors and VPs and such today. And yeah, I've been in the cold call game for like 8 years.
Long time.
For quite some time, yeah.
Long time.
I've done it for a few companies, and it's great. I mean, you learn a lot being in the trenches that long.
I can imagine. How many calls have you made?
I was just thinking about that yesterday to see if there's a way to figure it out. I have no idea.
You can always do like rough math. Like
right.
The rough math I've tossed around, but I tossed it around like a year and a half ago, is like 500,000, like 500,000 cold calls. Because I figure I myself had a period of time, an entire year, where I was a cold caller for hire, and I did nothing but make cold calls.
Yeah.
So I was doing 500-600 calls a day for like 3 or 4 different clients. So if I did that for a year and do the math, call it 400 calls a day over a year, plus all the time that I had as a BDR, plus running teams and teaching teams. And now what I do today, I do this show, I do cold calling for myself, I cold call with clients, I do a lot of stuff. So
500,000.
Over 500,000 is my number.
Impressive. I think I'm somewhere like in that realm. Possibly, I don't know, maybe 300K.
300K.
I would say not quite as many as you have made.
No,
I guess.
No, because you actually.
I spent a lot of time also in leadership.
Yeah.
That's actually what I did with most of my time, so I wouldn't make as many calls when I was leading the teams. But
exactly.
Should we get into it?
Let's do it. Let's fire up the dialer.
I've checked it twice.
Are you gonna find out if these people are naughty or nice? So you're calling support personas.
Yes.
Okay. It's January 3rd. Do you think they're in the office?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. I think they should be. But let's find out. I'm going to be calling for Hopp Consulting Group, which means calling founders of technology companies.
Heck yeah. All right.
And I am in the queue on my side. Oh, and of course, the technology decides to do that to me. Hold on. Got to make sure that the audio is going through my headset, which is part of the technology problems we had to start. I had this figured out before. All right.
Hey, Rob, how are you? I think you are right. You're not by any chance at Bamboo HR, are you? Yeah, I definitely have the wrong number. You have a good one, John. Take care. False. alarm. All right. That happens. I don't know about you, but I call sometimes 3 or 4 numbers per prospect, and usually, right.
I do like to call multiple numbers per prospect if I have to. Kevin.
Let's try that again.
Oh man. I thought I just had to say for this one that was in my ear, I thought I had to say my name to get through the Google thing, and it just like hung up on me. That's a bummer.
The Robo Killer.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily Robo Killer, which by the way, everybody out there, like Robo Killer is a thing. So if you call and suddenly Donald Trump's talking to you. Oh, hey, this is Kevin. Is this Chris?
Hey, man. Min Long.
Fantastic. Chris, how you doing today? This is Kevin with
is this Min?
Hopp Consulting Group.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to reach Min Long. Did I?
Yeah, Chris, sounds like I caught you at a bad time. Are you out and about?
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much. You have a good one.
Yeah, we never met before. It's a cold call, Chris. If you're in the middle of a meeting, I'll reach out another time. Cheers. Ooh, I knew this chaos was going to happen where we both get calls at the same time. Shoot. This is why reps don't normally stand this close to each other, you know? Because it's like,
you're talking. Did you hear me?
I could hear you talking, but
did it pick up on the mic?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I think this is noise canceling too. This is meant for call centers. So
okay.
I don't think it'll pick up.
Okay.
And I don't know if yours will either.
It's coming through my AirPod, which is in my right ear, which is facing, like kind of this way. So I'm hoping that it doesn't. That guy did what, we love when people do, which is, very clearly had background noise. Very clearly was in the middle of a meeting. It was like, yeah, who is this? What? And I was like, did I catch you at a bad time? He's like, yeah, I'm in a meeting. I'm like, all right, it's a cold call. And he's like, oh, okay, bye. Like, duh.
I love that. All right, so I'm going to start writing some of these down. I'm in a meeting. Take this damn headset off while I do this.
Go ahead. I'm going to get back in the queue, see if I can't get a good call.
Meeting. How do you handle this?
I usually punt it.
You punt it?
I usually punt it.
I usually go in for a second. People don't advise on doing this, but a second PBO, basically. I go, does it make sense for me to share why I'm calling before I call you back?
But what if you're so because they're busy and they tell you that they're in a meeting, and then you push and try to present a problem to them?
Yeah.
Unless it's something that's like a hair on fire problem,
right? They're
gonna say we're good, right? How do you overcome that next thing? Because they're gonna say, oh, we're good. Oh, thanks for the call, Ronen. We're good on that.
I mean, most people are in a meeting that I call. I don't know if you experience this too. So a lot of people are on these meetings with 7-10 people, and they actually are off camera and they're on mute.
Yeah.
And you get them on their cell phone. I've had some of the best calls and booked some of the best meetings with people who are in meetings. Actually, the one call that I shared on LinkedIn that went viral started with her saying, I'm actually in a meeting right now, but go ahead.
Wow. Started with.
After I did the, hey, this is a cold call. Do you want to roll the dice? She laughed and then said that.
Interesting. So, she rolled with it anyways.
Exactly. And so I find that happens more often than not. People are in these meetings where they're on Zoom and they're off camera, they're on mute anyway. So if you're going to talk to them for 2 or 3 minutes, they can probably get away with a quick conversation.
Yeah.
But another way to kind of pique their curiosity, and this is something that I used to train my SDRs on, is to say something like, yeah, this is a cold call. Does it make sense for me to try you again later? And usually 50% of the time, you'll get them saying, what's this about?
What's this about? Right.
That's your intro. That's your in. And then you can say, well, if it's not a good time, I can try you later. But the reason for my call was to see if you're already doing X, Y, Z. Ask a question.
Yeah.
And then I have my 3-question framework where I go in for like a present state. Is this your technical setup today? Then a second question that is around the like a technical challenge they might be experiencing, and a future state question. So it sounds like this. Are you using Zendesk today for ticketing? Yeah, I am. Okay, great. Out of curiosity, do you already have a way of knowing which customer is the most frustrated out of all your customers that came into Zendesk?
But you're assuming that they're going to say no to that.
I'm assuming no. Actually, a lot of them say yes. And I go, that's wonderful. How are you doing that today?
Right.
95% of them say CSAT surveys, which is an antiquated, old school approach.
Mm-hmm.
To which I respond, that's wonderful. All of our customers use CSAT surveys and Stylo. Does it make sense to talk about how you might be able to use AI in 2023 to identify which customers are frustrated?
Write that down. What's that framework that you were just mentioning?
Yeah. Oh, the 3-step. Yeah. I'll put that one on the board. Let me keep dialing here.
Yeah. Let's try and get some more live conversations. But I love the different perspective here.
Take this with me.
The other thing that I think is a reality is that people say they're in a meeting when they're not.
Yeah.
Hey, I was actually looking for. Oh, it's Dane, right? Oh, sorry about that. When you picked up, I didn't hear that right away. My name's Kevin. I'm with a company called Hopp Consulting Group. Did I catch you with a minute to have a cold conversation here on a Tuesday, or are you heads down doing something else? Oh, wow. You must be a busy guy if you're scheduling calls on the 15-minute marks, huh? That's your New Year's resolution. Look, wow. I love that. Well, I'm going to let you go here unless you have 1 minute, and I'll explain specifically, kind of the big reason why I called, and we'll determine if it makes sense for me to call back. Cool. Well, my name's Kevin Hopp. I run my own little company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. I work exclusively with B2B SaaS companies to help them establish a strong calling culture inside of their organizations, doing things like this, cold calling at scale with technology and process. Is that something that you guys do today? Do you guys have a strong calling culture? Sure. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And actually, I've worked with a number of organizations that sell exclusively to the large enterprise. And at the end of the day, sure, a lot of the methods that I use are good for kind of smile and dial. We sell to SMBs. There's 30,000 targets out there. But also, the question I have for you that might be worth talking about is, how many live conversations are your reps having with prospective customers every day? It's the same root problem. I just go about solving it a different way.
Pessar. This is actually a cold call. No one likes cold calls, especially not Tuesday after New Year's. So I can keep it super brief, and then you can decide if you want to hang up on me.
Right on, Dane. You mind if I connect with you on LinkedIn, by the way?
Out of curiosity, have you heard?
Do you mind if I connect with you on LinkedIn? I'm sorry, my colleague's talking to another prospective customer right now.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so Stylo was a Zendesk plugin. Are you guys still using Zendesk, or have you moved to different?
You wouldn't consider us friends? You wouldn't consider us friends?
Active campaign.
Not yet.
Oh, you're at attentive now. Wow, I definitely need to update that. Okay. Well, then that answers 2 questions. You have a wonderful New Year. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, Dane, have a great meeting. Cheers. Bye.
Well, that answers that question. They can definitely hear us.
They can hear.
She couldn't hear you, but was I on yours?
Just like a little bit. It worked out surprisingly well. Like, that wasn't that bad at all.
How'd it go? I just got the right person at a new company not using the solution that I use.
Not using Zendesk.
Exactly. So that's actually part of the framework, right? So it goes like this. Big shout out to Ryan Scalera, who kind of taught me a little bit about the gap selling methodology. And this is in their terms, how they have done this.
Yeah.
But you can do this on cold call. So my first question is something like, hey, are you using Zendesk today for ticketing? If they say yes, that's their present state. And I'm going for a yes, no. People always tell you open-ended questions. Not necessarily.
Right.
You might want to know, is this the right person to talk to? I don't want to waste my time otherwise, right? There's no point in booking meetings with people who aren't going to be able to actually buy anything. Then I ask a technical issue, something like this. If they say yes to using Zendesk, I'll say, okay, cool. Do you already have a way of identifying your most frustrated customer out of all the thousands of tickets you got this month? Mm-hmm. Technical. Again, yes or no.
Yeah.
And let's say in this case, they say no. Then I talk about the future state. I talk about a problem today. and the future state of how it might be solvable. And I
Uh-huh.
try to really dig for that pain. I try to look for that gap between where they are now and where they might want to be in the future. And that sounds like, have you ever considered AI that automatically detects emotion, things like frustration and urgency, so that you can see exactly who your most frustrated customers are the minute you get a ticket from them without having to read through every ticket? And it's supposed to be provocative. It's supposed to get them to think a little bit like, have I considered that? Yeah, I've considered it. And usually the conversation skyrockets from there.
Right.
They tell me about what they've looked at, what they're using, why it's working, what's not working.
Yeah.
And then you go into, if you want to qualify your prospect, you can before the call at that point.
Yeah.
Or you could pivot into the ask.
Yeah.
That was actually the reason for my call, to find time where I can introduce you to this when I'm not cold calling you. How's next week?
I like that a lot. I think the thing that I like about that the most is at the end, you're trying to get them to go, huh, how are you doing that? Right? Like,
exactly.
It's funny. Like I was coaching at one of my customers last week. We were talking a lot about similar scenarios. And one of the new reps we were just onboarding, she said to me, well, at the end of the pitch, aren't we trying to get them just to book the meeting right away? And I said, no. Like, it'd be great if they started asking you questions. It'd be great if they got into a conversation and they started saying, well, what makes you guys different from what I'm doing today? Right?
I'm sure you've seen this too, Kev, but the companies who only book meetings without pitching anything have the highest no-show rates.
Oh, yeah.
You can get people to say yes to a meeting on the phone, but are they going to show up?
Yep.
And if you're getting 50, 60, 70% show rates, like 30 to 50% no-shows, you're doing something wrong. I think you should. The benchmark for excellent is, I don't know, what would you say? Like
80%.
Yeah. I was going to say 20% no-show rate.
Yeah.
Or better.
Yeah.
That's probably the benchmark. It's funny how immediately you knew exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah. I mean, you and I, we've been doing this for a minute, We're not.
2 out of 10 is basically like counting for family emergencies and the dog ate something and need to go to the vet.
And it's amazing how often stuff comes out now.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
All the time.
People have every reason not to show up to a scheduled meeting. But also, if you look at like your hierarchy of meetings that you have scheduled in a given day, the one where Ronen called me last week, cool conversation, but I don't really know him, which goes back to the call that I just had with a CEO of a SaaS company.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
It was great. He mentioned his first objection was, cool, Kevin, like we don't do cold calling because we don't have a large market. Therefore, I don't want to call a lot of people. And I had the perfect response to it, which was like, look, I've worked with the Smile and Dial. I've also worked with the very strategic enterprise because I have. And it comes down to that problem of how many conversations am I having a day? Sometimes in enterprise sales, people say, well, it's too strategic. It's strategic. It's not going to work. Dude, conversations are conversations.
Totally.
If you're using a good process and structure to have 5 conversations a day, which one of them will net into a freaking $5 million deal, that's great too, right?
So true.
It doesn't need to be 25 conversations a day to try and find that SMB mid-market
I'm not
customer.
ignoring you, but I am going to make more calls.
Let's go. No, you're right. That's what we're here to do. I'm going to mark this guy's one follow-up. It was weird. I asked him, I always like to connect people on LinkedIn because I'm a LinkedIn, nut. And he said no, but he explained why. He's like, I use LinkedIn more like my Rolodex where I got to know you. And then I tried to make him laugh and I said, you wouldn't call us friends, Dave?
I heard that.
Yeah. I like challenging people like that because then he laughed, that's
usually my move at CVS when I'm trying to get a discount. You wouldn't call us friends?
Come on, Stacy, we're friends. Yeah, exactly. All right, back in the queue, baby. Ooh, I love cold calling to start the year.
Hey, it's Ronen. Is this Kim? Oh, is that a pickup and hang up? Let's try calling her back. I was too slow on the.
You know what we call that, right? The double tap. Let's go with that double tap.
Hey, Kim, can you hear me now? Hey, it's Ronen with Stylo. How have you been? Yeah, this actually is a cold call. And although I know no one likes getting a cold call, especially not the Tuesday after New Year's, I can keep it super brief and then you can decide if you want to hang up on me. Oh, okay. Are you no longer overseeing customer service at Beyond? Okay. Okay. Well, I totally get it, Kim. Yeah. Happy to send you that email. I've been doing this for a really long time, and I've yet to have anyone respond to my email after doing this for 8 years. Would it be totally insane if I shared why I'm reaching out before I even send you that email? Okay. Well, yeah, I appreciate that a lot. I guess just one last question for you is, are you guys still using Zendesk, or have you moved on to a different ticketing tool at Beyond? Okay, no worries. Well, I appreciate the candor. Thanks, Kim. Take care. Happy New Year. Bye. Ooh, here's a rule. People who can't say yes will never say yes.
What does that mean?
So I've been trying to call folks lower down on the totem pole to see if our ICP and our deal like prospect is actually a manager or even a team lead.
Huh.
And what I'm noticing, like this one, a lot of them actually don't respond positively. So immediately her guard was up. Oh, I actually don't take cold calls. That was the first thing I heard. Then she goes,
Nice.
oh, I actually have no power to make any decisions here. Okay. Oh, I actually can't even help you with anything. And I just kept getting thing after thing after thing that was a clear, we call it the Heisman, right? She's
the Heisman. That's
Heisman,
right.
The Heisman. You know, you just keep stiff arming, right? Keeping you at an arm's length. She doesn't want to talk, nothing. And then by the end, it was just, I can't disclose anything. I'm sorry. Anytime someone says they can't disclose something, either they're working for the mafia or some really shady like government arm,
Or they're in cybersecurity. As you know.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
I got a client right now who's in cyber, and one of their reps on a cold call was like, what do you do for cybersecurity?
Yeah.
And the guy just is like, I can't tell you that. It's like, you're the worst security person ever. If you're like, yeah, here's what we're doing. Let me tell you everything right away.
Totally.
So, but the send me an email one, I really liked where you went with that. I think we can learn something here.
Yeah. Let's break that down.
So you went, so she said, send me an email. You said, I can do that.
This is my favorite objection of all time.
Really?
All time, because I've booked so many meetings off how I handle it. So the way I handle it is what you might have heard on the other end is, yeah, I'm totally happy to send you that email. But if I'm being honest, I've been doing this for a while, and I have yet to hear back from a single person I've sent an email to. Would it be totally insane if we found 20 minutes when you're not super busy and I'm not cold calling you for me to explain why I'm reaching out and share a little bit more about how we might be able to help you? So it's basically a pivot from I can send you the email to the reason for my call is to find time to talk to you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll get another objection, but now you've opened up the conversation a little bit further. In this case, I got it early. I didn't even get the chance to pitch. If you get it later, that's a good time to push for the meeting. If you get it early before you've even pitched, then you really just want to ask for, hey, can I share even why I'm calling? See if it makes sense for me to send you that email.
The earlier you get it, the more cheap of an objection it is, where it's like, it has nothing to do with like why you're calling or like the problems you solve or anything like that. It just has to do with the fact that they're busy and they're like, just send me an email.
Yeah.
But I love the honesty, right? And I think there is some psychology behind not being combative, but instead saying, yeah, of course, but I could also do this. And here's my honest experience with it, right? But meeting it with like I will send you an email. But no one replies when I do send an email. What makes you different? Do you have a minute and I can tell you why I'm calling? Right? And like kind of restate the purpose for the call. Would you say that's the next thing here?
Exactly. So I love transitioning into, that was actually the reason for my call. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of, like I say it sometimes, but I'm not a huge fan of the reason for my call is, and then you drone on. I like a slightly different verbiage there, which is that was actually why I was calling you, or that was actually the reason for my call.
That's why I'm
calling.
Because
then they're curious. They want to know, what was that reason? What are you calling about? All right. Let's get it rolling.
Dig it. I'm trying to get another one here. Boom. So I've actually used, in my experience, I've used something similar to this to get them to respond to the email.
Interesting. That's clever.
And then you like title the email and you send it to them like you said you would respond or something cute, something cheeky. Right?
I have a pretty good email open rate with just called in the subject line after
just called
talking to them or leaving a voicemail.
I like that.
It's
a
like a
lot.
60% open.
I like that. Just called.
This is a great time to call people 4 minutes before the half hour. I expect one of us to get a pickup now. People are in between meetings.
They are. Although the last guy I connected with, he said for his New Year's resolution is he's setting meetings on the 15 minutes. And that was so like that call was kind of wild. I was like, dude, are you serious, man? Like 15 minutes? Like who does that? No one does that. But I guess he does.
I guess someone does.
Yeah. Come on. Getting some voicemails, but that is what it is.
So the opener I'm going with right now is inspired by Sarah Brazier. It's a Sandler opener.
Sandler.
Yeah. So it's hey, it's Ronen Pessar with Stylo. How have you been?
How have you been?
It's supposed to be friendly, warm, and light. And then they usually say good and you. Or they say good and who is this? Or what's this about? And then you go, I'm doing well, thanks. I know nobody likes getting a cold call. You call it out.
Yep.
Especially on a Tuesday after New Year's.
Context.
Yep. So I can keep it super brief, and then you can decide if you want to hang up on me. I usually get a chuckle, or the person goes, no, I won't hang up on you, but... And then they say something else, and the conversation starts. And I usually go into, have you heard of Silo? And that's the conversation opener.
Yeah.
And then from there, I go into my 3 questions and go for it.
I like that. I also teach the permission-based opener. And the folks that sorry, my phone, it's in my ear and it's
No
hard
worries.
to do it.
I keep looking at mine too to see if
The folks that I coach, I do a very similar method.
Uh-huh.
I don't call it Sandler, I call it the Hopp method.
But these days, who knows?
But it's hey, it's Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. How you doing
Hey,
today?
Meg, can you hear me? Oh, Emily, shoot. I was trying to reach Meg Heatherly. Did I just totally reach the wrong number? My apologies. Happy New Year. Take care.
Dang.
Do you get a lot of wrong numbers? I got a pretty large amount when I'm calling a new list.
It happens.
I try to weed them out throughout so that I stop calling them.
Yeah. It happens.
Part of the job.
But good thing we are using technology.
Technology. What's it all about?
Imagine you weren't using dialing technology and you took all day to try and reach somebody who's wrong number.
I'm already 78 dials in. How many are you in?
I'm on 33, but I've been going a little slower because we've been teaching. So 33 dials in, over 100 dials between us. Yeah. We're just about halfway through our session here.
By the way, that was a deep insider baseball reference to Sacha Baron Cohen's character, Ali G. When he used to do interviews, and he had this whole thing about, like, his intro, technology, what's it all about? And
Ali G, you might, a lot of Gen Z tuning in here. I don't think they know who that is. They're going to be Googling Ali G.
Oh, wow.
They're going to be very confused.
Ali G. Hilarious.
Some people might know him by Borat.
Before Borat was around, his previous character was Ali G.
I know, but you and I are old enough to get that.
Yeah.
I don't think the 20-something crew is going to get that. Ooh, here's a Robo Killer one.
Ooh, nice.
Kevin Hopp.
Good luck with that. That never works. It's your mother. Call me back.
It might. Oh, straight to voicemail. Dang it. Sometimes I dream about finding a way to go to the App Store and take down the RoboKiller app so no one else could ever use it. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, you know what also would be cool? What if we were like this good at cold calling?
Yeah.
In the early 90s.
Yeah.
When it was like you call 5 people and 3 people would pick up.
Yeah.
Man, I would have killed. I would have done so good. Now we have
that's why you need to validate your data. Validate your channels, you know?
Yeah. It's a
I
constant
feel like you're going to write
process.
the book on that.
I am very passionate about it. I want to write the book on it one of these days because I do believe it makes a huge difference.
Totally.
But it's just a struggle, right? Like the effort to getting cold calling right has gone up tremendously in the last 5 years, probably. Right? The amount of effort it takes to get it right. And that's where guys like you and I exist to help people try and figure that out.
So we got a few questions here, by the way. Do you guys use Power Dialer? How is it configured? Lines, leads, CRM integration, etc. So yeah, Kevin's using Kixie.
I am. Yeah. So Kixie is a power dialing solution. I have it hooked up to my HubSpot. So HubSpot CRM. It doesn't matter if you're using HubSpot, Pipedrive, Salesforce, whatever you're using, you can connect Kixie to it. It's a power dialing solution. It's going to grab a certain list of people that you align inside the CRM, hit go. And I'm actually calling more than one person at a time. It does parallel dialing. So I'm calling 3 people at one time and waiting for the first person to pick up.
Hey, it's Ronen. Is this Laurelyn? Hi, Laurelyn. How have you been? Yeah, it's Ronen Pessar with Stylo. Hey, look, I know nobody likes getting a cold call, especially not the Tuesday after New Year's. So I can keep it super brief, and then you can decide if you want to hang up on me. Is that fair? Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for answering. I'll keep it really brief then. Have you heard of Stylo before? No worries. So I did some research, and it looks like you're using Zendesk as your ticketing solution at Dropbox. Is that still the case or no longer? Okay, awesome. So we're wonderful. And hey, do you have a way of already identifying out of all of your support tickets which customer is leaving the most frustrated out of all the tickets that came in this past month, let's say? Wonderful. Well, that's kind of what we do. I'm curious, how are you doing that today? Okay, wonderful. Yeah, there's a lot of wonderful tools out there today. The reason for my call and really the reason why I was calling you right now was to see if you'd be open to taking a look at a native Zendesk tool that plugs right in. That does exactly that. It's automatic sentiment detection for frustration, for urgency, and even CSAT projection. That way you can build workflows on top of it inside of Zendesk, things like alerting, triage, and even smart lists. Would it be totally crazy if we found sometime next week just for a high-level introduction? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm totally happy to send you some more information. And help me understand here. Are you not the right person because you don't oversee Zendesk? Okay, wonderful. I gotcha. Maybe I'll try Maria McSweeney. Is she probably a better person to try? Okay. Well, thank you so much. If it's all right, I can send you that email, but I don't want it to be something that would be a waste of your time. What would be valuable in that? Awesome. And you said you're already doing automatic detection. Is that with some sort of AI solution, or are you using something else? Okay. Awesome. Well, I'll send that over, and I'll also shoot a separate note to Maria as well to see if this would be interesting for her. But really appreciate you taking my call. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year, Laurelyn. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Oh, she said my name perfectly. That's a first.
Wow.
So I just got a referral, basically.
Okay.
Not the right person, but gave me great intel. First of all, this is a big account. This is Dropbox.
Woo,
so big logo, we would kill for it.
Name drop.
And she gave me some insight about how they're doing it and what they're doing today. And then also said, look, I focus on this other thing that you don't want to talk to me. I'm not the right person, but this is what I focus on. You want someone else, send me info, I'll send it along. So here's the move. I go on LinkedIn while I'm talking to her, and I look on the side of her LinkedIn. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. Yes. Have you guys ever seen this? Sidebar over there on the right-hand side.
Yep.
That sidebar has people also viewed. Go look for your ideal title and just drop that name, even if it's not entirely correct. So I saw the first one. I go, oh, would that be Maria McSweeney? And then she goes, yeah. I just got a referral from her.
Yep. You've identified the right person.
Exactly. So now I know Maria is my target at the account. All my work is done in terms of prospecting. Now I have to get in front of her.
Nice.
What did you think about that?
So what was the title?
She was a director.
Digital customer experience.
Which for us can sometimes mean support. And in this case, it was more like social media support, which is becoming a whole separate field within support.
Interesting. And then she pointed you to the head of global support.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, which is like kind of a title
boss.
You might have been able to look from the outside in and say, that might be the person. This might be the person. Like you could this is one of the things that I do advise. A good SDR that's working like target accounts, named accounts, is going to map a bunch of people that they think are possible based on their title. So don't call the head of social media marketing and try to talk about, their email sending solution or whatever it is. Like put some thought into that, because you had a thought into why you targeted who you targeted, but then who she referred you to is pretty logical based on what you sell. But it's just really good confirmation. And by the way, I think next time when you get McSweeney on the phone, you're going to drop the first girl's name.
That's exactly right. So here's something I learned from Jed on LinkedIn, which is if you call people who are slightly below your champion or your ideal target, start collecting that information to put together an email. And so I'm going to send this person an email saying, hey, I know you're doing X, Y, and Z. I spoke with someone on your team already, and this is what they let me know. Would you be open to hearing about a way that you could do this much easier, save some time, make it native to your existing solution so you don't have to add another tool to your tool, but whatever the thing is, I'm going to send her a very personalized and specific email to her company's needs. And then I'm going to call her. If she doesn't pick up, I'm going to leave a voicemail pointing her to the email. I'm going to connect on social media, look for anything she's done on LinkedIn as well, and start clicking around and giving her some likes and comments on things. And really we call that running the triple, right? All three channels, phone, email, social. And so just trying to get her attention. Basically.
Exactly. And following up in all three too, right? So do you have a follow-up cadence in your sales engagement platform?
So it's actually, I write the first email, and I know you can do this in outreach really well. I haven't figured it out in Sales Loft, but basically you customize the first email. So at this point for me, it's literally just a blank first email that I have to write. And then the rest of them are just follow-up emails from there. So I'll write like,
hey, wondering if you got my email.
Yep. Just some, we call them bumps, quick taps. One is just like their first name ? Yeah. Kevin ? On the copy, on the string.
Yeah. Just to poke them. So Jerry asked a good question here. Our voice message is getting left. So Kixie does allow you to drop voicemails in an automated fashion. I'm not doing that today. I have a very fanatical conversation first philosophy, and that just means that instead of me identifying myself as a salesperson and as a stranger on a voicemail so that you can make the decision without talking to me or without knowing me that you don't want to talk to me, I'd rather talk to you first directly. So I don't leave voicemails on cold calls the way Ronen's talking about it. Absolutely leaving a voicemail there, right? A multi-channel threaded strategy with very specific people you're going after at a very specific time. That's different than what I'm doing, where I'm cold calling founders for the very first time. And I want to control that interaction. I just want to control their opinion of me and what's going on without them just saying, choom. And it's interesting, like voicemail has come a long way. Yeah. And it's gone the wrong direction, right? Because like now you don't even have to listen to your voicemail. I mean, we've all got these, $2,000 computers in our pocket that transcribe the voicemail that allow you
$2,000 for your phone.
This is like the best one that money can buy. I think it was like $1,600. Are you serious? I got a terabyte of storage in this.
Oh
It's the 14 Pro Max. It's legit. It's a write-off, dude. I'm a business owner.
Oh,
Hop
there
on
you
calls,
go.
baby. It's a write-off. But my point being is like back in the day, you used to, and once again, another thing that you and I grew up with that the kids are not growing up with is you used to have a physical thing called your voicemail box, right? And it had a cassette tape in it that would record voicemails when people would call. And you'd have to go home and a light would be on next to the phone, and you'd have to go click rewind and hit play to listen to the voicemails that people had recorded for you. But we've come a long way. So now basically leaving a voicemail is like leaving an email because it's all transcribed for them and they can read exactly who you are, what you're calling about. It's all in there. And they can make the decision not to pick up the next time you call. That's my strategy. I know a lot of people that don't do it that way. I think if you are working a targeted account list, once again, it might be advantageous, particularly if you're doing omni-channel. You're pointing back to other channels. Because the whole point here is just to get them to interact with you. I think you would take a win on email just as much as you would take a win on phone, right?
Absolutely. A win's a win.
So would I. I just happen to be a bit of a phone
I think
freak.
the thing is we are phone first.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that we have
In
created our
common.
strategies around. And there's a lot to be gained. And of course, there's the downside to it as well. But the benefit is you quickly pick up intel every connect that you make, and you can craft highly compelling emails, especially in a day and age where email is becoming more and more difficult to deliver to the inbox and not to spam folders.
Oh, yeah.
That's a very big challenge. I recently found my way around it. 100% of my emails go to inbox now.
Ooh.
But maybe that's something for another time.
Yeah, that's for a different show. We should start an email show.
Yeah, right?
I'd fall asleep, though, because email's boring.
Yeah, something about cold calling to get your blood going.
It's because it's live. It's direct. Yeah. Kevin. Another Google voice. Let's see if this guy lets me through his Google Voice screener thing. Huh. It's ringing.
All right. What time is it in Ireland? That's where I just called. Oh, it is late.
Calling international? It's generally a no-no.
Is it?
I mean, there's, if you are a really organized SDR and you're running your own little outbound business, basically as an SDR, like I would have my list segmented by time zone.
Well, the company is headquartered in California,
but you got to look on where
the team that I'm targeting is in Ireland.
Yeah. So I would always look at where it says they are on LinkedIn. That's their geo. If you just go by company headquarters, particularly after 2020, like frick, everyone's all over the place, right? Like they're everywhere. Right. It's really hard to try and say, oh, it's a California company, I should call. And there is like what, right about now? Yeah, now we're entering the golden hour when it hits 11 a.m.
Yep. So what's the golden hour? Tell people about this.
Probably different than what you're thinking, but the golden hour, what I'm talking about, is like from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Yeah, two. Then everybody in the entire United States is working from Hawaii to New York. Yeah, from Hawaii to New York, you can call any U.S. number, and they should be in working hours.
All right, we're gonna do
that's the golden
hour. Ash from Pokemon. I'm turning my hat backwards.
There we go.
I'll catch them all. I'm getting one before this stream is over.
Yeah, I'm ringing over here.
I'm doing this dial to Maria. Let's see if she kills me.
Dude, by the way, I was listening to a podcast over the weekend, and the guy was talking about living in Russia. You know, Russia has like 9 time zones. That's what he said.
That makes sense.
It's really, really wide.
Yeah. It's 3 times as big geographically.
Hey, Isaac, how you doing today? I'm all right. My name's Kevin. I have my own little company called Hopp Consulting Group. I can tell that I caught you on your cell phone out and about. Is now a good time for a cold conversation, or? Okay, because you're. I mean, are you like in line for a bagel right now? It sounds like I got a bunch of like background noise. Okay. Oh, Whole Foods is the best. Are you gonna do the make your own salad bar?
Maria, I just sent you an email with the subject line.
Oh,
Just
dude,
call.
I know, I do know.
No need to
So
call me
Isaac,
back.
the reason I'm
Actually, I
reaching
include
out.
everything you should need to know in that
My name's
email.
Kevin Hopp. Once
This is
again, I
Ronen
run my own
Pessar
company
with
called Hopp
Stylo.
Consulting Group. I work with B2B tech companies
to
to help them establish a strong calling culture, like outbound calling, just like this, inside of their sales organization. I was curious, do you have an outbound sales team today? Right on, right on. Was there a particular reason you decided to stop doing outbound calling altogether? Yeah, I love that. So yeah, no, I totally get that. So I'm curious, a lot of folks that I talk to that kind of gave up or stopped cold calling, they weren't using technology and they weren't using really high quality data sources for their contact data. And that's kind of like my wheelhouse, is helping people set up programs where like all you got to do is kind of press go at a certain point and have anywhere from 8 to 10 live conversations a day. I mean, you're the fifth CEO I've talked to in the last hour using my own system. Were you having that many conversations a day, or was it much more like, man, we got to make 100 calls to get one connect? Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. No, no, yeah, it makes total sense too. So I guess my only question for you, one of the things that I talk to founders about is like, with inbound, you kind of get what you get. With outbound, you get what you want. Do you have any sort of initiative to go target a certain subset of like 50 accounts where going and getting it might be advantageous? Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. That's it. Yeah, you guys are in a very unique position to do that. Most companies stay away from the direct mail and like sending physical stuff because they're not in that business, but you're in that business. Well, hey, I think I've talked around this sideways, and I want to make sure that I let you get to your salad time because that salad bar is calling your name. Isaac, thanks for the call, man. I do appreciate it. Do you think I could add you on LinkedIn? We can connect there. No, that's just the technology I use. I'm actually sitting in. Yeah, yeah. I'm in San Diego. Yeah, not bad. All right, Isaac. Well, have a good time at the salad bar, and wishing you a happy New Year here.
Oh my God, I'm getting the call
Oh, thanks, thanks. That's good to know, and I do
Hello?
teach this for a living, so I'm glad that I did a good job.
Oh,
All right,
hey, is
cheers.
this Jennifer? Jennifer, hey, it's Ronen Pessar with Stylo. This was actually a cold call. I appreciate you calling me back. I'm reaching out from Stylo. Have you heard of Stylo before? Oh, hey, no worries. Well, so yeah, like Stylo, we're basically a Zendesk plugin. Are you guys still using Zendesk at Service Titan, or you moved off that system? Ah, I see. Are you at Service Titan? Oh, then I'm probably calling the wrong Jennifer. Okay. Well, that makes this real easy. Well, thanks for calling me back. Have a great rest of your day and Happy New Year. Take care. I get a lot of callbacks.
Yeah, because you're putting your number as a callback.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, it actually just connects back when they call the number that I called them on.
Yeah. I hate callbacks because I hate being off my game. I hate not knowing who I'm talking
I
to.
booked 2 meetings on callbacks like 2-3 weeks ago when I was just ripping through dials. But there was one day where I got like 13 callbacks and 2 of them converted.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
crazy, right?
That is crazy. I would not have thought that it would be that high quality of connect.
Usually it's not. Most of the time it's the wrong number, and someone's just like, because if someone's going to call you back, there's like, think about who that person is. Like, they have time. They might think that you're their kid's teacher or school. Like, they're thinking about something else. So you have to kind of quickly get them into the mindset of this is a cold call, without being like, hey, do you have 30 seconds? So I like going with this. Oh my God, thanks so much for calling me back. This is actually a cold call. I'm curious, have you heard of Stylo before?
Right.
So 1, 2, 3. I kind of help frame the conversation up for them.
That's really important. Framing the conversation is so important. I find, so I've tried to teach that to entry-level SDRs. Really hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a skill move, right? It's kind of like a veteran move to be able to just like,
yeah.
Like,
you almost have to always be thinking about, frame this up. I'm making a lot of calls. They're only getting 1 call.
Yeah.
So you have to keep reminding yourself that they're not in the same mind space as you.
Yeah.
You're thinking about call. They are thinking, oh, who's this? Picks up the phone.
Yep.
And usually the number one thing people want to know is, who is calling me right now?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the 2 things that I always teach people, like the 2 things that every single person that you ever cold call: who are you? Why are you calling? Who are you? Why are you calling? And the bummer of cold calling, like the sad part is like the who are you will never ring a bell for them.
No. But you can use that also as an opener.
Yeah.
Of sorts. I used to use that.
Yeah. Well, I like your technique, man. It's working well for you. Like the idea of calling it out as a cold call right away and letting them make that decision, whether or not they want to continue.
Thanks.
Hey, shout out to George Serrano here. That's me. $100 one connect.
Hey.
Brutal, brother. Brutal, brother.
Got to check that data. Calling a burn list.
Well, you should also be able to make 100 calls really quickly. So I just had a fantastic, really long conversation with a CEO at a tech company.
Tell us about it.
So they basically they sell the supply chain access for people that want to do large scale company products.
Oh, cool.
Like company owned products. Like this, I was on their website for 5 minutes and this is what did it for me.
Wow.
Like, look at this. Cool. Yeah. So if you go to their website, you can see they make like merch for Facebook, right? So if you think about like Facebook, Microsoft, any large company is going to have a ton of merch and stuff they want to do. And they provide that for the company to do it themselves. They have like a sourcing thing and supply chain. It's a huge
industry, by the way.
Yeah. So he said that they have tried cold calling in the past and they stopped, which was interesting. And so one of the common things I brought up to him, I said, hey, man, is it because you didn't have good systems? Is it because you didn't have good data? That's normally like, if you just go rip any list from Apollo or Seamless.ai or something, like, sorry if you work at those companies, the data's kind of crap. Right. And then you just call it one by one. You're going to be like, oh, cold calling is dead.
Yeah.
This doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyone who's calling one by one without validating their channel, their leads, making sure this person answers the phone or has really good quality data, you're going to hate it. It's going to be awful.
I would hate it. I would absolutely.
There's no way that works.
There is a way that it works, but I've seen it work really well. And then reps burn out.
Right.
Because you got to have a rep that's like, like that top one. It
makes like maybe 120 dials in 3.5 to 4 hours of dialing.
Yeah.
When they could probably do that in 45 minutes with something like Kixie.
Sure. And they need to realize that if you're a manager listening and your team's doing that, you got to realize like if they haven't quit, they're thinking about quitting. And if they're thinking about quitting, they're going to get poached. And if they are really good, they're only going to have a certain amount of patience sitting in the seat. So you have to develop, like this is part of what I do, why companies work with Hopp Consulting Group, by the way. No free ads, but here's an ad. Like I help design an SDR job that people actually like. There we go.
Hey, Kevin, it's Ronen Pessar with Stylo. Does the name ring a bell at all? Yeah, this is actually a cold call. You want to roll the dice? All right, you two, Happy New Year's. Can you tell me why you're calling? And then I said what I said. He goes,
Cool.
"No, I do not." Have a fantastic rest of your
Look,
day.
that's fine. That's fine.
Totally.
More fish in the sea. Happy to move on to something else.
Amen.
Happy to go try and talk to somebody
Next
else.
person. He was too high level anyway.
Nice. That CEO I talked to has already accepted my
Ooh,
connect request.
look at that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. 172,000. Not bad. I feel like we need a stat line ticker of like what's happening.
I hate this title. I hate when people do this. Is that silly? I just don't. I don't get it.
The founding AE.
Yeah, founding SDR.
You know, it's funny when there's multiple founding individual contributors, SDRs, AEs.
Like I believe you should only be able to put founder if you have meaningful equity, because founders' lives change when they have exits. And if you're not a founder, you might get a few $1,000. Government takes half of it, right? Like that's the reality. And I feel like that founder title, you'll only ever see me put it if I have a huge, meaningful piece of equity.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I will put founder. Which, Ronen, we should tease a little bit about something that you and I are launching together here in the last 2 minutes.
These calls anyway, because I'm hitting 200. All right, so I got to connect every 40 dials. It's not great. Pretty middle of the road.
Of the road.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I think you, me, and a few others have gotten together, and we're trying to put together something to help any one dialer out there, not just the people whose companies can pay for training, not just large organizations that can afford to hire us one-on-one, but we're trying to build a place for anyone who makes calls.
Hey, Eric.
Live Connect.
Hey, how's it going? I was trying to reach Eric Barty. Did I just call the wrong person? I believe so. Customer service supervisor. What would be a better line to reach him on? Sure, thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great one. All right.
All right, we are about at time.
Yes, sir.
Last shout out here. This is going to be a place for anybody and everybody that makes outbound calls. The only people that are not invited to what we are doing here, you, me, Tom, and Colin, only people who aren't invited are who? People who don't make calls.
There are a set of rules that we have. We'll talk about the rules later.
We'll talk about the rules later. If you guys want to stay in tune with what we're doing, you want to learn more stuff like this, you want to make calls with us, you want us to review your calls, you want to be involved with us, go to that bit.ly link.
Check it out if you're an active cold caller. We want to see you, hear from you. I think a lot of cold callers are going to be really into this.
I think so too. It's going to be huge.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah,
let's do it again.
Great. We should do
Hopefully
it again
when it's sunny and not rainy, so we can actually have some sunshine coming in your garage.
I know that'd be great. But Ronen, thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Cheers. This was great.